Adam Clark stood with his shoulders back in the grand hallway of the Galactic Council headquarters. His blue diplomatic uniform felt too tight around his neck. Through the tall windows, 3 alien suns cast strange shadows across the marble-like floor. He took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. 6 months ago, Earth had been just another planet, isolated and unaware of the wider galaxy. Then the Xeraxian ships appeared in orbit, massive vessels that dwarfed anything humans had built. At first, there had been hope. First contact. The dream of generations. That hope died quickly. "You will surrender your planet's resources," the alien commander had announced over all Earth's communication channels. "Resistance is pointless and will result in demonstration of force." World leaders had scrambled to respond. Some wanted immediate surrender. Others called for negotiation. A few demanded resistance. While they debated, the Xeraxians grew impatient. Adam remembered watching the news footage from his apartment in Geneva. The bright flash over Beijing came first, then Mumbai, then Sao Paulo. 27 million people gone in moments. The world fell silent in horror. Then came rage. What the Xeraxians didn't know, what no alien species knew, was that Earth had been preparing for this day. Since the Cold War, the major powers had secretly built defenses against possible alien threats. Orbital platforms disguised as weather satellites, hidden missile bases in mountain ranges and under oceans, experimental weapons developed in absolute secrecy. Within hours of the attacks, Earth revealed its hidden strength. The counterattack caught the Xeraxian fleet completely by surprise. Their shields were designed to withstand known galactic weapons, not the unusual approaches humans had developed in isolation. 7 Xeraxian dreadnoughts destroyed. The rest retreated in disarray, sending panicked messages across space. Now, 6 months later, Adam waited to address the Galactic Council, the governing body that, as Earth soon discovered, had known about humanity for centuries, but kept the planet quarantined as a developing world. "They left us defenseless," his colleague Lisa Reeves whispered beside him. The military attache's hand rested on her sidearm, a nervous habit. They knew what the Xeraxians would do. Not defenseless, Adam corrected quietly. Just uninformed. A tall, insect-like being approached them, its translator device humming softly. "Ambassador Clark, the Council is prepared to hear Earth's statement." Adam nodded to his team. Lisa, Kyle Matthews, the science officer, and Kevin Lopes from intelligence, all wore the same grim expression. They carried not just Earth's grievances, but evidence that would shake the Council to its foundations. "Remember the plan," Adam said softly. "No matter what they say or how they threaten, we stick to the facts." The massive doors slid open, revealing a vast chamber. Hundreds of alien representatives sat in tiered sections, their forms varying from nearly human to utterly bizarre. At the center, on elevated platforms, sat the 5 elder races who had dominated galactic politics for millennia. A hush fell over the chamber as Adam stepped forward. He felt the weight of history pressing down, the responsibility of representing not just a government, but an entire species making its first appearance on the galactic stage. High Counselor Vextor spoke, his scaled skin catching the light. "Human, your species has violated galactic law by destroying the Xeraxian diplomatic fleet. You will explain your actions before judgment is passed." Adam's grip tightened on his data tablet. Diplomatic fleet. After 27 million dead. The deception ran deeper than they had imagined. He stepped forward, his voice steady despite his anger. "Members of the Council, I am Adam Clark, representing Earth. I am here to speak truth to power, and to ensure that what happened to my world never happens again." The Council chamber stretched high above Adam, its ceiling lost in shadow. Representatives from hundreds of alien species filled the curved seats, their whispers creating a background hum like distant ocean waves. Some looked almost human. Others resembled nothing Adam had ever seen. Beings of light, crystalline structures, and creatures that seemed to shift between solid and gas. At the center sat the 5 elder races. Vextor, with his iridescent scales and 4 arms, leaned forward on his platform. Beside him, Counselor Ithla floated as a column of shimmering vapor contained in a force field. The other 3, insectoid Thurek, the tentacled Mozar, and plant-like Zil, regarded the humans with expressions Adam couldn't begin to read. Human. Vextor's voice boomed across the chamber. You claim your attack on the Xeraxian fleet was justified. Explain. Adam stepped forward. The Xeraxians destroyed 3 Earth cities without warning. 27 million civilians dead in minutes. Regrettable, said Counselor Ithla, her voice coming from the translator device. But standard protocol for species that refuse initial integration offers. Lisa Reeves moved beside Adam, her face tight with controlled anger. Standard protocol. To commit genocide. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Many representatives seemed disturbed by this exchange. The Xeraxians merely followed established procedures for bringing primitive worlds into the galactic fold. Ithla continued, seemingly unbothered by the reaction. A demonstration of force is considered most efficient. Adam activated his data tablet, projecting images of the destroyed cities into the air above the chamber floor. The smoking ruins of Beijing, the massive crater where Mumbai had stood, the ash cloud covering what remained of Sao Paulo. This is what efficiency looks like, Adam said quietly. Children, families, people who never knew aliens existed until that day. The chamber grew quiet. Even Vextor seemed uncomfortable. Nevertheless, the High Counselor said after a moment, your response was disproportionate. Humans weren't supposed to possess technology capable of defeating the Xeraxian battle group. Perhaps you should have checked before allowing them to attack us, Adam replied, his voice cold. Counselor Thurek clicked his mandibles irritably. Our intelligence indicated your species was pre-FTL with minimal orbital defense capabilities. How did you defeat 7 dreadnoughts? A reasonable assumption, Adam acknowledged. What your intelligence missed was humanity's defining trait. We prepare for the worst. Lisa activated a holographic display showing Earth's formerly classified defense network, the orbital platforms disguised as satellites, the deep-sea missile bases, the antimatter weapons developed in secret. Since the Cold War, Earth's nations have been building contingencies for extraterrestrial threats, she explained. When the actual threat arrived, we simply activated systems already in place. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Many representatives shouted accusations of deception and treaty violations. Silence, roared Vextor, his scales flaring bright orange with emotion. Human, your species concealed military capabilities from galactic observation. This is forbidden. By whom? Adam asked quietly. We never agreed to your rules. You chose to leave us ignorant of the galactic community, yet held us accountable to laws we couldn't know existed. Kyle Matthews stepped forward with another data projection, this one showing intercepted communications between the Council and Xeraxian Command before the attack. We've translated your messages, Kyle said. The Xeraxians requested permission to harvest Earth's resources. You granted it, knowing their methods. The chamber fell silent again, but this time the silence felt dangerous. You left us to die, Adam continued, his voice echoing in the quiet chamber. But instead, we fought back. Now you face a choice. Acknowledge Earth as equals, or face the consequences of your actions. Vextor's scales darkened to deep purple. Are you threatening this council, human? Adam smiled thinly. No, Counselor. I'm introducing you to accountability. The elder races shifted uncomfortably on their platforms as the evidence mounted against them. Counselor Thurek's mandibles clicked rapidly in what Adam recognized as a sign of distress. The plant-like Zil rustled its leaf-covered limbs, releasing a sweet scent that the human's translators identified as a chemical signal of alarm. Your accusations are serious, Vextor said, his scales now a deep blue. But they do not explain how a pre-FTL species managed to defeat one of the most powerful military forces in the galaxy. Adam nodded to Kyle, who expanded their holographic display. The projection now showed detailed schematics of Earth's hidden arsenal. After World War I, humanity lived under constant threat of self-destruction, Adam explained. The major powers built weapons that could destroy our civilization many times over. When that threat receded, those same powers began to look outward. The display showed underground facilities, mountain bunkers, and deep ocean bases where experimental weapons have been developed in absolute secrecy. Our scientists theorize that any species advanced enough for interstellar travel would likely have energy shields, advanced materials, and faster-than-light capabilities. Kyle continued. So we developed weapons that might work against such technology. The display showed gravity disruption bombs, quantum entanglement missiles, and projectiles designed to phase through conventional matter. When the Zoraxian ships attacked, they expected primitive missiles and nuclear weapons, Lisa added. Instead, they faced technologies developed specifically to counter advanced alien defenses. Their shields were useless against weapons that ignored conventional physics. Murmurs spread through the council chamber again. Many representatives leaned forward, clearly fascinated by the human innovations. Impossible, hissed Councillor Mozar, speaking for the first time. His tentacles writhed in agitation. Such technology development without guidance is unprecedented. Perhaps that's why it worked, Adam replied. The Zoraxians weren't prepared for weapons they'd never encountered before. Vextor stood, his tall frame imposing even from a distance. This only confirms the danger your species presents. Unregulated technological development threatens the stability of the galaxy. Kevin Lopes stepped forward, his intelligence officer's uniform crisp despite the tense situation. With respect, Counselor, your stability nearly cost us our world. Kevin activated his own data projection, showing the aftermath of the Zoraxian attack. Refugees streaming from devastated regions, emergency workers searching through rubble, children crying for missing parents. This is what your stability meant for Earth, Kevin said quietly. While you protected the status quo, real people suffered. The chamber grew silent again. Several representatives bowed their heads or covered their visual organs, unable to watch the footage. You speak of unregulated development as dangerous, Adam continued. Yet in 6 months, we've already improved upon Zoraxian technology using the ships we captured. The holographic display shifted again, showing the new hybrid vessels Earth had constructed. Ships that combined human ingenuity with reverse-engineered alien technology. Their drive systems were inefficient, Kyle explained. We improved them by 22%. Their weapons yield has been increased by 35% through relatively simple modifications. The council representatives exchanged nervous glances. A species that could so quickly adapt alien technology represented a significant shift in the galactic balance of power. You see us as a threat, Adam said, looking around the chamber. But we didn't come looking for conflict. It came to us. And we survived. He stepped closer to the elder race's platforms, his voice firm but controlled. Earth doesn't want war. We want security. We want justice. And we want to ensure that what happened to us never happens to another world. Vextor's scales shifted to a pale yellow. And if we refuse your demands? Adam's expression remained calm. Then you'll discover that defeating 7 dreadnoughts was just the beginning of what humanity is capable of. The elder races conferred among themselves, speaking in rapid exchanges that the human translators struggled to follow. The chamber hummed with tension as representatives from dozens of species whispered to each other, clearly unsettled by Earth's revelations. Adam stood confidently before them, though inside his heart pounded. Everything depended on this moment. Earth needed allies, not enemies, but it also needed respect. We have heard your grievances, Vextor finally announced. But you have not yet stated your purpose here. What does Earth want from this council? Adam nodded to Lisa, who stepped forward with data tablets for each elder race representative. "We're not here to apologize," Adam declared, his voice carrying through the vast chamber. "We're here to establish terms." A wave of shocked murmurs swept through the assembly. Many species rose from their seats, gesturing in what appeared to be outrage. Terms. Councillor Zill's leafy form trembled, releasing pollen that glowed faintly in the chamber's light. "You presume to dictate to this council. Earth demands official recognition as a sovereign power," Lisa stated firmly, ignoring the outcry. "We require exemption from resource taxation for 50 standard years as reparation for the unprovoked attack." "Preposterous," hissed Vextor, his scales flaring bright red. "You cannot dictate terms to this council. We have stood for 12,000 years. Perhaps that's the problem." Adam replied evenly. "You've forgotten what it means to fight for survival." Kyle expanded their holographic display again, showing the full extent of Earth's rapidly expanding fleet. Ships of hybrid design, incorporating both human innovation and Xeraxian technology, patrolled the Sol system. "We also require technology exchange programs and full access to galactic navigational data," Adam continued. "Earth will no longer remain isolated and vulnerable." Councillor Thurek tapped his clawed fingers nervously against his platform. "Such demands are unprecedented from a newly contacted species. So was the unprovoked destruction of 3 major cities," Kevin replied coldly. The plant-like Zill rustled agitatedly. "The human terms would upset carefully balanced trade agreements and security protocols established over millennia. Your protocols failed to protect Earth," Lisa pointed out. "Why should we trust them now?" Adam watched the council's reaction carefully. He knew they were calculating the cost of refusal against the cost of acceptance. Earth's position was precarious. They had surprised the Xeraxians once, but a full-scale conflict with the entire Galactic Council would be disastrous. But the Council didn't know that. All they knew was that a supposedly primitive species had destroyed 7 advanced warships and was now rapidly building more. "Consider the alternative," Adam suggested quietly. "Earth isolated, developing technology without guidance, building more ships like these." He gestured to the holographic fleet. "Or Earth as an ally, integrated into galactic society with mutual benefit." Several council members nodded thoughtfully. The mercantile species seemed particularly interested in this framing. "These humans learned quickly," a representative from the Tellurian Compact noted. "Their adaptation of Xeraxian technology demonstrates significant potential. Perhaps there are opportunities here rather than just threats." "Opportunities." Vextor's voice rose in disbelief. "They'd violated our most sacred protocols. Protocols that authorized the slaughter of millions." Adam reminded him. "Protocols that maybe deserve reconsideration." The chamber fell into intense debate, with factions quickly forming. Adam could see that several smaller council races viewed Earth's challenge to the elder races with barely concealed satisfaction. "They're divided," Lisa whispered, "just as we hoped." Adam nodded slightly. "Now we wait." As the council argued, the human delegation remained standing tall, united, and unwavering. The message was clear. Earth would no longer bow to threats. Whether as allies or adversaries, humanity had announced its presence on the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same. As the council debated in dozens of languages, Adam and his team waited patiently. The translation software they developed from captured Xeraxian equipment worked overtime, allowing them to follow the fractured discussions taking place throughout the chamber. "They destroyed 7 dreadnoughts." 7, argued a representative from the mercantile Tellurian Compact, a squat being with golden skin and 4 eyes. "The Xeraxians haven't lost a capital ship in 6 centuries. Perhaps the Xeraxians needed humbling," countered another, a tall, willowy delegate from the Free Worlds Alliance. "Their expansion has become increasingly aggressive in recent cycles." Adam caught Lisa's eye. The divisions among the council races were becoming clearer. The military powers aligned with the Ziraxians seemed outraged by Earth's demands. Trading species seemed more pragmatic, seeing potential opportunity. Smaller independent worlds watched with obvious interest as Earth challenged the established order. "We cannot allow a pre-council species to dictate terms," Vextor declared, calling for order. The precedent would be catastrophic for galactic stability. Adam stepped forward again, his voice cutting through the chaos. "We've been listening to your debate. Let me be clear. Earth doesn't want conflict. We want security. If you won't provide it through alliance, we'll ensure it through strength." He nodded to Kyle, who activated a new hologram showing Earth's rapidly expanding fleet. The projection highlighted the innovative design elements that combined human creativity with reverse-engineered alien technology. "This is what we've built in 6 months with the remains of one fleet," Adam continued. "Imagine what we could accomplish as allies instead of adversaries." The chamber grew quieter as the council members studied the projection. Even Vextor seemed momentarily speechless. "Your adaptation rate is concerning," admitted Councillor Thurek. "No species has ever integrated foreign technology so quickly." "Necessity drives innovation," Adam replied. "When your survival depends on it, you learn fast." A representative from a crystalline species rose from the middle tier. "I am Nixus of the Lumari Collective. We have traded with the Ziraxians for millennia, yet they have never shared propulsion technology with us. How did humans improve their drive system so quickly?" Kyle answered, his voice steady despite the attention now focused on him. "We approached the problem differently. Ziraxian engineers clearly optimize for power, but we saw opportunities to improve efficiency through flow dynamics and thermal management." "Fascinating," Nixus replied, facets glittering. "The collective would be interested in such innovations." "As would the Tellusian Compact," added their representative. Adam could see the shift happening. Some council members were beginning to see Earth as a potential partner rather than just a problem to be managed. Councillor Ithala's vaporous form pulsed with what Adam's translator identified as agitation. "You evade the central issue. Humans developed weapons specifically designed to defeat advanced technology. This represents a fundamental threat to established powers. Only to those who would threaten us." Lisa replied firmly. "The Council has maintained peace for thousands of years through careful balance," Vextor stated. "Earth's uncontrolled advancement threatens that balance." Adam looked around the chamber, making eye contact with as many representatives as possible. "With respect, Counselor, that peace didn't extend to Earth. We were left ignorant and vulnerable. When attacked, we defended ourselves. Now we ask for recognition and reparation. And if we refuse..." Vextor's scales darkened to deep purple. Before Adam could answer, a commotion erupted at the chamber entrance. Guards with energy weapons snapped to attention as massive doors slid open. "The Council will be silent," announced an aide, voice amplified through the chamber, presenting Supreme Commander Karzan of the Ziraxian Confederacy. Adam turned to watch as a huge figure entered the chamber. Nearly 9 feet tall, with metallic blue scales and extensive cybernetic enhancements, Karzan radiated menace. His right arm had been replaced entirely by a weapon system, and his left eye glowed with unnatural light. "This isn't part of the schedule," Kevin whispered, hand moving subtly toward his concealed weapon. "Stay calm," Adam murmured back. "This might work in our favor." The Ziraxian commander stormed toward the center of the chamber, his heavy footsteps echoing ominously through the suddenly silent room. Supreme Commander Karzan stomped to the center of the chamber, his cybernetic enhancements whirring with each movement. The council representatives fell silent as the massive Ziraxian glared at the human delegation with undisguised hatred. "This is outrageous," Karzan bellowed, his translator amplifying his already powerful voice. "These primitives should be exterminated, not negotiated with." Adam remained calm, though he could feel the tension radiating from his team. This unexpected development could either ruin their careful planning or provide the perfect opportunity to reveal the Council's complicity. Commander Karzen, Vextor said, his scales shifting to a cautionary yellow. The Council has not yet concluded its deliberations regarding Earth. The Xeraxian commander turned his burning gaze toward the elder races. While you deliberate, they build more ships. They study our technology. They killed my brother in their cowardly ambush. Adam stepped forward, meeting the alien's gaze without flinching. Your brother died leading an unprovoked attack against civilians. On Earth, we call that justice. Karzen lunged forward with surprising speed for his size. The human delegation tensed, but council guards moved between them, energy staffs humming with power. The Xeraxian Confederacy demands blood rights. Karzen roared over the guards' shoulders. We will cleanse the human system of all life. Commander, Vextor shouted. You forget yourself. The Council has not ruled on this matter. Kevin Lopes chose this moment to step forward, his face calm despite the tension. Actually, we have evidence the Council authorized the Xeraxian attack on Earth. The chamber fell absolutely silent. Even Karzen paused in his rage. Kevin activated his data tablet, projecting documents into the air above the chamber floor. These are official Council authorizations for resource extraction in the Sol system, dated 3 months before the attack. The projection highlighted official seals and signatures from the elder races. Special dispensation was granted to the Xeraxian Confederacy. Kevin continued, to pacify resistance through standard protocols if necessary. The smaller council races began murmuring in shock. Several representatives stood to get a better view of the documents. These are internal council documents. Councillor Thorek protested, mandibles clicking rapidly. How did you obtain them? From the command computers of the Xeraxian flagship, Lisa answered. Their encryption was impressive, but not impenetrable. You knew, Adam said, his voice carrying across the now silent chamber. You all knew and approved the slaughter of millions, because you thought we couldn't fight back. Karzen's cybernetic eye focused on the projected documents, then swiveled to the elder races. You promised us the humans would be defenseless. You said their technology was primitive. The documents must be verified. Vextor insisted, his scales now pale with stress. They could be forgeries. I submit them for verification by the Council's independent AI adjudicator, Kevin replied immediately. A holographic interface appeared in the center of the chamber. A neutral artificial intelligence, trusted by all Council races to provide unbiased analysis, began examining the documents. The minutes that followed were tense. Karzen stood rigid, his weapon arm occasionally twitching. The elder races conferred in hushed tones. Representatives from smaller worlds watched with growing concern. Finally, the AI's serene voice broke the silence. The documents are genuine. Council Executive Committee approval for Xeraxian action against Earth was granted with full knowledge of standard first contact protocols. Chaos erupted throughout the chamber. Many representatives shouted questions and accusations at the elder races. Some demanded immediate censure of the Council leadership. Others called for reparations to Earth. You betrayed us as well. Karzen roared at the Council. You knew their capabilities and sent my warriors to die. Adam watched as the carefully maintained facade of Council unity crumbled. Just as they had planned. Earth's most powerful weapon wasn't its improved ships or advanced technology. It was the truth. Kevin leaned close to Adam's ear. Now, he whispered. Adam nodded slightly. Now. Lisa activated a small device on her wrist, sending a signal that would change the galaxy forever. The chamber's main lighting suddenly shifted, casting everything in a blue glow. Confused council members looked around as hidden projectors activated throughout the room. Above each section of seating, holographic screens appeared showing the same image. The council chamber itself, from multiple angles. What is happening? Demanded Vextor, his scales now pale with alarm. Earth's revenge isn't the destruction we could bring, Adam announced, his voice clear and strong. It's the truth we've exposed. Lisa stepped forward, her device still glowing on her wrist. This entire proceeding has been broadcast live across all galactic communication channels. Every word, every revelation, every admission. The screens changed to show ships, homes, gathering places, and public squares across dozens of worlds. Beings of all species were watching the council session in real time. Billions of beings across the galaxy are watching right now, Lisa explained, learning how the council sacrificed an insignificant world to Juraxian expansion for political convenience. The once mighty council representatives shrank in their seats as their personal communication devices lit up with incoming messages from their governments and citizens. "You cannot do this." Councillor Ithla's vaporous form pulsed erratically. "Council proceedings are confidential by ancient law. Laws you expected us to follow without knowing they existed," Kevin replied calmly. "Laws that protected the powerful while sacrificing the weak." Karzen stood frozen, his cybernetic eye rapidly scanning the screens. Even the fearsome Zeraxians seemed to understand the magnitude of what was happening. "Earth doesn't want war," Adam continued, addressing not just the Council, but the entire galactic community now watching. "But neither will we be victims. Our terms stand: recognition, reparation, and respect." He paused, letting his next words carry their full weight. "The alternative is a full public accounting of council corruption going back centuries. Data we extracted from Zeraxian command ships." The screen switched to show snippets of classified documents detailing backroom deals, species classifications based on exploitation potential, and resource allocation schemes that benefited the elder races at the expense of newer members. Vextor slumped in his seat, looking suddenly old and defeated. "The Council recognizes Earth as a sovereign power. The other terms will be negotiated in good faith." Around the chamber, representatives who had been silent began to speak up, demanding reform of council procedures and transparency in decision-making. The carefully maintained power structure was crumbling in real time. As the debate grew, Adam signaled his team to move toward the exit. Their mission was accomplished. Earth had secured its place in the galactic community, not through superior firepower, but through strategic thinking. As they walked through the grand hallway where their journey had begun, Kevin leaned close to Adam. "Was broadcasting the whole thing part of the plan all along?" he asked quietly. Adam nodded. "Earth's most vicious revenge isn't destruction. It's transparency. The Council ruled through secrecy and manipulation. We just introduced democracy to galactic politics." Kyle looked back at the chamber doors, where sounds of heated debate still echoed. "Do you think they'll actually reform, or just find new ways to maintain control?" "Some will resist change," Adam acknowledged. "But many smaller worlds have wanted this opportunity for centuries. They just needed someone to break the pattern." Lisa smiled for the first time since they'd arrived. "And humanity does excel at breaking patterns." As they reached the building's entrance, they could see through the massive windows that crowds had gathered outside. Representatives from dozens of species waited, some holding signs with Earth's name and symbols of solidarity. "It seems we have allies after all," Kevin observed. Adam straightened his uniform and prepared to meet their new galactic neighbors. Behind them, the millennia-old Galactic Council faced its first major reform in 12,000 years, shaken to its core not by Earth's weapons, but by its ideals. "Ready?" he asked his team. They nodded together, united in purpose. "Then let's build a better galaxy," Adam said, stepping forward into humanity's new future among the stars.